What's up, kiddos? Just a little heads up. Um, New lesson today, fresh cut. Um, Life is good. I'm excited to get after it with you a little bit right now. And as you can see, things are a little different. You can see some shading. Yeah, we're just kind of taking the next step in regards to graphing. These are called inequalities. You can see obviously we have a greater than or less than sign. We have a greater than or equal to. We've got stuff going on, but today's lesson for the most part is pretty simple. Okay. And I'm going to make it simple for you, easy to understand. Okay. So what we want to do right now is I want to make my own graph. Okay. I don't want to worry about these graphs yet. Okay. Give me 1 second. I got to pause this for a sec. Okay. Sorry if the screen was a little glitchy right there for a second. I had to pause my recording and then take care of something real quick. But this is typically what we need to do first, always, is make a little graph, okay, and then we can attack. Okay, now it's really easy to graph this. Let me show you the easiest way to graph. Remember, this is in slope-intercept form. And how we know it's in slope-intercept form is the y is by itself. Look, y is chilling, y is chilling, y is chilling, y is chilling. The y is by itself. That's when it's slope-intercept form. And you need to make notes for yourself, right, about that. Say, hey, slope-intercept form, this is what y looks like. Okay, make notes, you can use them. Now, the easiest way to graph this, let me show you, is this number on the back end is our y-intercept. That's where we go on our y-axis right here and make a point. See how this number is -1? That means we're going down to -1 and making a point. Okay, if this was a positive number, we'd go up. Okay, but this is -1 and we made a point. Now, our slope is always going to be in front of the x. Okay, this is our slope, 3/4. Okay, since this is a positive number, we're going up. And this bottom number, we always go right, always. Okay, if this was a negative number, we would go down and then to the right. Okay, so we're going to go up 3 and right 4. 1, 2, remember we start down at this point that we made. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now what you can see here is some of these lines are dashed and some of them are solid. Now, if you have a line underneath like a less than or equal to, it's going to be solid. Okay, if you don't have this line underneath, it's going to be dashed. So that's one way we can tell that. So that's what we have right now. Okay, and you got to figure out shading. Is it shading above or is it shading below? Now remember, if the mouth is eating the y, if the mouth is eating the y, it means greater than. And if it's greater than, we shade above. We shade above the line. If the mouth is not eating the y, then it's less than, and we shade below. Okay, so let's look here. What's happening here? That mouth is eating the y. It's eating the y, so we know that it's going to be shaded above, and I mean above the line, okay, which is up here. This is above the line, and this is below the line. So let's see which one of these matches. And gosh, these two, this guy here and this guy here looks real similar. But remember, we want to shade it above, so B is our answer. Okay, pretty simple, I would say. Okay, now let's go to number 2. And I'm actually going to change number 2 because if we don't have, you see how we have a fraction in front of the x? We like a fraction in front of the x because that's our slope. So I'm actually going to change this guy, y, and we have negative, this is really a -1 in front of the x. You can't see it, but it's there. So I'm actually going to write it -1/1, and then I'm going to put my x, and then I have -4. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our graph. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. I might need a 5, 6 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, this guy is our y-intercept. That's where we go up or down on our y and we make a point. So he's down at -4. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we look at our slope next. Since it's a negative, we're going down and we're going right. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And since we have that line underneath right here, it's going to be a solid line. Okay, now the last thing we look at is the mouth eating the y? Okay, the mouth is not eating the y, so that means less than, which means we shade below. So now we got to try and match. Which is the one that looks like it? It looks like C, right? C is the match. Okay. Let's come over here to 3 and check out 3. Now this one looks a little different. Okay, so what I want you to do is maybe pause and draw yourself a nice coordinate plane to start. That way you're not trying to catch up. And then press play when you're done, because we need to take good notes. Okay, let's go through this. I'm going to rewrite this. And let me show you why I'm going to rewrite it. I just love to rewrite it. Okay, so I have y is greater than or equal to, and I want to write this as a fraction. What's -2 as a fraction? Well, it's -2 over 1, and then we put our x, and then you're like, shoot, there's no y-intercept back here. Watch what I'm going to put. I'm going to put +0. Okay, so now you can see that 0 is the y-intercept. That means on our y-axis, I go up to 0 and make a point. Well, 0 is right there. Okay, it's negative for our slope, so that means we're going down and to the right. So down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. Okay, and remember, this guy has a line underneath. So that means it's going to be a solid line. Okay, now, is it eating the y? Yeah, it's eating the y, which means it's greater than, which means we shade above the line. Now, which one? Does that match? No. Does that match? No. This one guy looks like he totally matches C. Perfect. Okay. Number 4. So this is where I'm going to stop, and I'm going to ask you kids to do number 4 on your own. Take your time. Do 4 on your own, please. And then we'll check it. So press pause, and when you're done, press play. Okay, let's get it. Do I need to rewrite this one? No. And let me tell you why. I have a slope that's a fraction, which I like. I like seeing my slopes as fractions, and I also have a y-intercept. So everything looks money to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do our y-intercept first at +3. We go up 1, 2, 3 and make a point. Okay, looking good. Now our slope is negative, so that means I'm going to be going down and to the right. Okay, if it was a positive slope, I'd be going up and to the right. Okay, so I'm going to go down 1 and right 4. Down 1, right 4. Down 1, right 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to notice something. There's no line underneath here, which means it's not going to be solid, it's going to be dashed. Okay, and then the last question you ask yourself is it eating the y? Okay, the mouth is not eating the y, so that means it's less than, which means we shade below. Okay, so which one matches? I see one right now that looks like it matches to me. It looks like C is spot on there. Okay, what do you think? Tired. I'm old. Freak. Man, wait till you kids get old. It sucks. But it's good. Okay, it's good. Okay, so number five, why don't you kids go ahead and attack number 5? My advice to you is to rewrite it. So I would actually rewrite it. Y is greater than or equal to, there's nothing in front of the x, which means it's 1. So we're going to write that as a fraction 1 over 1, x minus 4. Okay, 1 over 1, x minus 4. So pause it, go ahead and attack, graph, and then see if you can find the answer. If it's not A or B or C, then it's got to be D. Okay, if maybe that's all you can see is my screen. First thing I'm going to do is draw a nice little coordinate plane here. It's not going to be very nice. If we were in class, it would be super nice. All right, let's get it. Okay, first things first, y-intercept down here at -4. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a point, right? Okay, now our slope is positive, so that means we're going up and to the right. So it looks like we're going up 1 and right 1, because this is our up or down, and this is our right. If it was negative, we go down, but since it's positive, we're going up. So we start down here, and we're going up 1, right 1. Boom. Okay, next, is it dashed or is it solid? Since there's a little line underneath there, that means it's solid. Okay, and we got to ask ourselves, is it eating the y? Is it eating the y? Yes, which means it's greater than, which means we shade above. Yeah, solid, kiddos. Okay, last one, best one. Oh shoot, we got to figure out what it matches, right? C, boom, right? That's what it looks like to me. Okay, 6 on your own. I'm not even going to rewrite it for you or tell you anything. And then we are done for the day. For this lesson, we got one more after, but it's all good. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm going to rewrite this. Boom. I'm going to write it 7 over 1, x minus 5. Okay, my y-intercept is down at -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Graph it. It's positive, so that means I'm going up and to the right. Remember, if it was negative, I go down and to the right. So we got to go up 7 and over 1. This is a steep line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1. We ask ourselves, is there a line underneath? No. So that means it's going to be dashed. And this one can be tricky because you may not know what's above and what's below. Okay? You're like, I don't know what's above or what's below. Well, let's look. Is this guy eating the y? No. Okay, if he's not eating the y, that means less than. So that means below. And technically below is over here. All right, above is actually up over here, which is tricky to see, but you can do it. So what do we see? Boom, looks like D. Okay, so that was inequalities, graphing inequalities that are in slope-intercept form. The easiest way is slope-intercept form. Okay, next lesson that we're going to do right after this is graphing inequalities that are in standard form. And then that's our learning for the week. We got a review and then a quiz and then boom, boom, boom. All right, thank you.